Bonjour mes amis, je m'appelle Parkzy et oui. Well, hey, what's going on guys? It is me Parkzy here. Sorry, I had to do a French intro for Armaldos, man. I don't know why, but hey, Pittsburgh Pirates. So anyway, welcome to week number 2 of the Showdown Draft League, the SDL. Last week I took on Irazvann, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings, and I managed to win 2-0 versus him. Today we are probably going to be taking on the strongest team in the format. He goes by the name of MX3, and he is the coach of the Seattle Staraptors. His core is absolutely insane, and I think my team probably has the worst matchup versus him, if I'm being honest, because I just really could not break his core. It's slow, but it is absolutely fast. So, for a recap, if you guys did forget my team consists of my Tier 1 Armaldos, my Tier 2 Nihilego, my Tier 3 Forges, my Tier 3 Hippowdon, my Tier 4 Alamamola, my Tier 5 Primate, my Z Abuser, which is Executory, my free pick, which is Scizor, my free pick, which is Zoroark, and my other 2 free picks, which are Champion and Celebi. Also, I just wanted to go over something really quickly, is that I'm actually going to be, I'm going to have to quickly go over here, but I actually can't show you guys at all, but I am going to be dropping, Scizor for Excadrill, because firstly, Excadrill has got 5 more physical, attack than regular Scizor, which, is really good, because that is something I struggle with, is physical attack. Second of all, it worked really well with Hippowdon, so I don't have to run flipping Sandforce, Sash Zoroark all the time. And third of all, it actually gives me a reliable spinner now, because with something like Primate, it isn't very good to have 2 defoggers, especially Talonflame. It's nice to have a spinner or something. It's not really the best to have a defogger. So Excadrill is one of those Pokemon that you can easily just throw Rapid Spin on the odd week. It can be a bulky spinner, it can be an offensive spinner in sand. So I really think it's going to be helping out my team, and I will be receiving this next week, because at the end of week 1 I did make this decision. We have got, we have got a 1 week penalty, and you do have to wait between transactions. This means that you can't just, like, for example, if I were going up against Rattata, which I would be going up against next week, I would probably, like, drop my Lodic for a really offensive water type, because this team struggles with offensive water types of ice coverage and maybe electric coverage. So a water type with Bulk Beam I would probably pick up for Rattata, and as soon as that battle was over, I would drop that Pokemon and pick up Alamamola again. But we didn't want that to be a thing, so we put in a 3 trade clause, which means you can only trade 3 Pokemon maximum. I've used up 2 of those trades already. I have swapped Nihilego for Executory week 0, and also I have now dropped Scizor and picked up Excadrill in the hope that I can make a pretty good sand team. Not a full sand team, but definitely a pretty good sand team. I hope so. What was I going to say? But yeah, it also prevents people just picking up Pokemon purely for the fact that just to counter teams, because I don't really think that's very fair. I think A-Drive did it in the GBA Season 7 when he was going up against Gator. It's Gator. For his Latios, he dropped a Pokemon to pick up Golisopod, so that he could get priority first impression, which I think is pretty cheap. But he did it anyway. It didn't really work out, because Latios, of course, ran Protect, and Gator won that battle. Spoilers, but you know, it's been out for quite a few months. I also want to shout out Irazvann and Sitasuntata, especially and Irazvann, just for helping me out with the team this week versus MX, because as I did say, it was such a hard matchup. So they were really helping me out with EVs, what moves I should run, if I should run like Defog and Latios, or if I should bring Scizor. We were thinking of bringing a really cool cell battery Scizor set, but I will be showing you guys what we actually decided on bringing. Sita also helped me out quite a bit, and Irazvann actually helped me pick up a Pokemon that I never thought I would bring to this battle, but it actually did some really good work, as you're gonna see in the replay. Also, Irazvann has dropped out of the league for some reason, maybe school related, I would say. So we're going to be trying to pick up a coach. I'm not really too concerned because, of course, I'm going to be playing him week 6. So by the time I'm probably playing him, the replacement coach will be there. And just do consider that Irazvann is the one with the really rain reliant team, but the new coach will have infinite trades. He can drop or pick up whatever Pokemon he wants, so we should be looking forward to that in about a week or two. Also, down in the description will be any YouTube channels of the people that I'm going to be battling against. But finally, 5 minutes and 40 seconds of the video, we are now going to be going through my opponent's team. It does consist of Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn. Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn is an amazing core, by the way, just want to add. Umbreon, Snorlax, Flygon, Rhydon, Victini, Thundurus, Therian, Hydreigon, Golurk, and Magneton. He did drop Snorlax for Cobalion for Snorlax week 0, just as I swapped the circuitry for Nihilego. And he did drop Magneton for Cofagrigus week 1, so that means that since it's week 2, he still technically has Magneton. It's just ongoing through trades, so he can use Magneton, but the next week it will be used up and he cannot use it anymore. So after recording of this video, he will now, instead of having Magneton, have Cofagrigus for his team, which honestly will help him out with passive stacking a lot. Unfortunately, he only has 2 Defoggers, but the 2 Defoggers he has are very good. Tapu Fini being one of the best Defoggers in the tier, and Flygon being a pretty good Defogger in RU, although it can be a good Dragon Dance Super as well, which is what his team kind of relies on. His team is ranked as an A- basically because he's got lots of matching types. He has 2 steel types, he has 3 ground types. Now if Cofagrigus, he's gonna have 2 ghost types, he's got 2 dragon types, he's got, I'm looking over, he's got 2 dark types, he's got, okay, well, that's all I can see for now, but I'm sure there's a few other things. He's got 2 electric types, by the way. But also, his speed tuning, as you can see, is pretty poor. His top Pokemon speed is only base 101, which is pretty bad. Pokemon that are over 101 are just going to be able to like scarf themselves, just put themselves over that base 101 speed stat. It'll vest fully into bulk. So going into this battle, I definitely was expecting something like Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn, Snorlax, Thundurus, Therian, Victini, Hydreigon to come, something along those lines, which I think was a pretty solid team if he did bring it. Thundurus, Therian, Hydreigon, and Victini were definite answers. Tapu Fini I definitely thought would come. Ferrothorn and Snorlax I wasn't so sure about, but they were very good answers to my team. So here's the team that I decided to bring. Okay, so the first Pokemon I decided to bring was Poisson. My Alumamola, which is a Wakam berry. It has enough special defense to live a +2 Thunderbolt from a Thundurus Therian, which is very important because I was exceptionally afraid of Nasty Puff Thundurus coming into this battle because it dealt with so many of my team. I am carrying Mirror Coat, Wish, Protect, and Scald, just because I do need a Cleric, and Alumamola was the best I had. I couldn't really bring Florges into this battle because it didn't really do much. He did have 2 steel types which hard walled me even if I ran with fire. He also had things like Victini that were annoying, and he also had just a lot of mons that could take hits and I couldn't really dish them out as well. I usually lost a lot of 1v1s. So next Pokemon I'm going to be bringing is my Zoroark, and yes guys, I'm bringing another Focus Sash Zoroark. I'm sorry, but Focus Sash Zoroark, the last battle versus Hughes, was so good. It actually helped me win the battle, spoilers, but if you're watching week 2, then I'm assuming you've watched week 1. Focus Sash helped me win against the Scolipede sweeps. This time I'm bringing Sucker Punch, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, and Sludge Bomb. This coverage allows me to 2-hit KO every single Pokemon on this team. Focus Blast is for those things like Ferrothorn, and Magneton and Sludge Bomb being for those things like Tapu Fini, or I think it was just purely Tapu Fini, and of course Dark Coverage. Plus also Sucker Punch allowed me to the combination of Dark Pulse and Sucker Punch allowed me to OHKO things like Flygon, things like that might be threats. Next up we've got Rayquaza, our Kubo Berry Latios with Defog and 3 attacks again, but at least it's not Choice Scarf. At least it's not Scarf Defog, okay? That's how you know you're terrified of rocks. But this time I actually had a legitimate reason for bringing Defog because Spike's Theraphorn was annoying versus me, plus also Stealth Rocks. It did hurt me quite a bit. Also, it does break the sash on Zoroark if he does get up rocks and things like that. Also, Tinkerbell and things like that. Do not appreciate them. If I decide to bring Talonflame, that would be nasty. So, it's basically guaranteed he's going to bring rocks because I do have a Talonflame on my team. But that's the trade you take for drafting Talonflame. I have got enough speed on my Latios to outspeed a modest Thunderous Therian, and that's what I'm talking about. I can just invest like 102 base speed or something like that. Yeah, like if I was a base 102 stat Pokemon, I could just max out, and that's what I'm doing here. Just going over the 101 limit. It is counting Energy Ball, hitting Power Fire, and Ice Beam. That is pretty good coverage. I only get rolled by Victini, but I don't really think you'd stand with Victini against the Latios unless you're like Physical Choice Scarf. Victini also does give my Pokemon a lot of trouble, especially if it's special Victini, like Glaciate, U-Turn, Blue Flare, and Thunderbolt. That coverage just annihilates me. Next up, we got your boy Utah. I have to run Sandforce again. I'm sorry, but and Rocky Helmet, of course. I have to run Rocky Helmet, Sandforce Utah for another week. But I'm looking forward to using it because this coverage is absolutely beautiful. Like I said previously, I've got Stealth Rock, Slack Off, Whirlwind, and Earthquake. I do get hard rolled by things like Flygon and Hydreigon that do levitate, but they have to fear Ice Sign because I did bring Ice Fang last week and I believe it did catch Hughes Man enough. He swapped out into a Shaman and I managed to get an Ice Fang off, being able to really damage that Shaman, taking 25% of its health, plus Stealth Rocks was absolutely annoying for my opponent. So yeah, next up we have got Afe, my Primeape, its debut coming into the battle. Afe was supposed to be a Pokemon that was going to try and pretend to be Choice Scarf because Choice Scarf Primeape rips through him. Plus also, if I do get a Defiant Boost plus the Expert Belt, I OHKO everything except the Victini, and even then, I'm pretty sure Gunk Shot does about 65%, something like that. So, none of his Pokemon are going to be appreciating taking this hit. I did have the speed on for something. It was, I don't know, it was like Magneton or something I sped. Something weird. No, it's Tapu Fini, yeah. I sped max speed Tapu Fini, of course, if it's modest. So I decided to bring U-Turn, Close Combat, Gunk Shot, and Ice Punch. This set to hit KOs everything. Gunk Shot with the Expert Belt is a guarantee to hit KO versus Tapu Fini if it is a defensive variant. I didn't really want to bring Life Orb Primeape because that just shows that I'm not Choice Scarf, and I wanted to kind of play off that I was Choice Scarf. I was actually considering bringing Muscle Band. If you don't know what Muscle Band is, it basically increases your physical attacks by 1.1%. So that basically means I could kind of, you know, get into the calc range of a Adamant Scarfed Primeape. But I just decided Expert Belt would be nicer because then I'm going to be hitting something super effective most of the time. So next up I'm going to be bringing Tinkerbell, and this was actually the Pokemon that Irazvann told me to bring. Its coverage is absolutely beautiful. Choice Scarf Tinkerbell is absolutely amazing, so thank you Irazvann for bringing this. My opponent has no bug stab coverage, so bringing Tinkerbell was a pretty safe bet. It has got Dazzling Gleam for the Scarf Hydreigon, which I presumed was coming. I have Energy Ball, I have Hidden Power Fire for the Ferrothorn, and I have Shadow Ball for things like the Victini, and also, things like Golurk as well. So that is going to be my team, and I'm going to be loading up the battle. Alright guys, so going into this battle, I do see that he did not bring two massive threats against me, which is why I was super excited against my matchup. He did bring Tapu Fini, Flygon, Theraphorn, Snorlax, Victini, and Magneton. I did not expect him to bring the Magneton, but it does activate my Wachamberry on an Alamamola, and even Thunderbolt does manage to OHKO Choice Specs, Choice Scarf variant of Magneton. Basically, something that isn't max HP via Light Magneton. And even then, I think I might OHKO it because Alumamola's HP is out of this world. Stupid. But he didn't bring Thunder's Therian, as I was scared of a 3 attacks agility or nasty plot set, and I was also scared of Scarpy Dragon because that did work against my team. I did bring Cobbleberry Latios, but Cobbleberry isn't exactly useless in this battle. It's gonna be very hard to activate my Cobbleberry, but I can send it in on things like Ferrothorn if it does want to go for the knockoff and things like that, because if you're a Ferrothorn and you do see a Latios, you're gonna knock it off. Like, I'm pretty sure someone tried to knock me off. Donphan versus Latios in the battle versus Hughes. So I'm gonna go play now as in comes Knight, which is the Victini. I do lead off Latios. Now, Irazvann did tell me to try and put Surf in the Victini, but I am forced to switch. I was also scared of this Victini being a special set, so this lets me know if it's special or physical, so it wasn't actually the worst switch in the world. From this damage, I do get to see that this is the physical Victini, as he does decide to go straight out into his Magneton, which is nicknamed PK. I am going to definitely stay in, take this Thunderbolt, and I survive with a good amount of HP. My regenerator will get me back, and Mirko just knocks out that Magneton straight Oko, and Aloma has got 3 kills. 1 by Scald, 1 by Mirko, and 1 by Toxic versus the Shaman, which is absolutely insane. I'm pretty sure MX has got, like, his Ferrothorn has got, like, the most kills in this league, though, for some reason. But anyway, he decides to go with Power Whip for the Ferrothorn. Pretty safe play, if I'm being honest. It hits most of my Pokemon pretty hard, but Utah is a physically defensive Poudon with Rocky Helmet, so I can take definitely 2 of these Power Whips, as he just decides to go for the Leech Seed, knowing that I'm probably going to go for the Slack Off or something. Instead, I go for my Stealth Rocks, because I definitely do want him to defog versus me. So I decided to go for the Slack Off, knowing that if just trying to waste some turns, really, just trying to be obnoxious. He does get a Stealth Rocks up, but I did get my health back with my Poudon, which is pretty useful for things like Snorlax, Victini, and if it is Dragon Dance Flygon, which I am pretty sure it is going to be, and it's going to be defensive Flygon. So I send Celebi, predicting it to go for another Power Whip, as I do take the Power Whip pretty well. I am a Celebi, I do have a base stat total of 600 and 100 in each defense, so even without investment I am pretty bulky. I decided to go for the Hidden Power Fire. I don't really care if I show it off, because then that basically ensures that if I am ever going against Ferrothorn again with my Tinkerbell, then that means that I can scare it out, because it does know that I have Hidden Power Fire. So Victini again goes for U-turn. I predict that going into Hippowdon, taking 16% from his health, and also forcing it to go back out into Stealth Rocks again. He goes out into Aphrodite with Tapu Fini, and I know that from a defensive Tapu Fini, I live 1 Hydro Pump with my Primate, and I have to play aggressively versus him because his team matchup is so insane versus mine. So I decided to go out into my Primate, knowing that I can take a Hydro Pump, I can take a Scald. I wouldn't really see why I would go for Moonblast, since I have things like, well, I guess Moonblast makes sense, but all in all, I think the Water type would be good. So, Gunk Shot, I see that it do a lot of damage, and I predicted him to switch out, but he didn't switch out. He didn't fear the Gunk Shot. You know what I do get from this is he has especially defensive Tapu Fini, because I did do like 67% to it. So I decided to send him my Latios, just try and revenge kill Energy Ball. He does switch out, however, and he does bring in Snorlax, which is just going to chew up these hits. And I realize that I have brought nothing for Snorlax. I mean, I have got Zoroark with Focus Blast, but that's going to be a nightmare to bring in, especially with Rocks up. So I decided to switch out, going into Hippowdon, knowing that I can heal up versus this thing. I don't care for those Ice Punch, because I take 2 of those, as he does go for the Ice Punch, and you can see just the sheer amount of little damage that that does. I mean, it does so little. So he does get his Guava Berry, but no, I do go for my Slack Off, and he does, for my belief, he does go for, oh no, he goes for a Cycle, so he gets his Guava Berry back. I have healed up with my Hippowdon, as he does show the Seed Bomb, and I didn't even know Snorlax got Seed Bomb. I decided to whirlwind him out there, hoping to get something like Victini. I do get the Flygon on the switch in there, which I really do not mind. I decided to go for U-turn, taking 16% of Rocky Helmet damage, which is a bit weird, because I wouldn't really see why you can just hard switch by that stage, but oh well. So he decides to go into Ferrothorn, as I just decided to go for the Slack Off again, predicting him to maybe, like, I don't know, swap or like outrage on my face, or maybe Dragon Dance off. So after getting my health back, I decided to switch out back into my reliable counter, which is Latios. Latios or Celebi are usually reliable counters. He goes for his Leech Seed, however, and that is going to be sapping away from my Latios. I do have to give props to him, but I don't really see why I went for a Leech Seed, even though I have shown that Celebi is my switch in. He decides to stay in with Ferrothorn, which I do not agree with, and just knocks me out of the Gyro Ball. I don't agree with this play because it was very obvious, I would say in my personal opinion, that I do carry Hidden Power Fire on my Latios. I decided to send in Celebi because I have shown Hidden Power Fire, and I know that he's going to fear it, as he does, so he decides to send out Nike with Victini, and knowing that he's going to go into Victini, I decide to launch off Shadow Ball. I am max speed Scarf Celebi, so I'm presuming that he's Scarf Victini except Adamant. So I go for another Shadow Ball and manage to knock out the Victini. Celebi is proving itself with its week 1 battle. Not as much as Primeape. Primeape's not really showing itself off too much. It kind of was just sent in to take a Scald, hit a Gunk Shot, and then just got knocked out. But anyway, for another Ice Punch, Yuta tanks another hit from it. Yuta is just such a boss. Yuta is probably one of my favorite picks that I have to say in this entire draft. Draft league, because I love it so much. It's just so bulky. I can run especially defensive. I can run physically defensive. Hopefully, I can prove myself with Primeape again, because my Primeape play was definitely poor. This guy's hard to read, though. I will have to give it to MX3. He is very hard to read. Some of his plays are kind of weird. I do send out Zoroark on the aggressive switch, hoping he'd get up rocks, but instead he goes for his Leech Seed on my Celebi. Now, this time I decide to fire off my Focus Blast, and of course, you couldn't make me miss Gunk Shot so that I could hit this Focus Blast. No, I missed the Focus Blast, and this, I'm going to pause this here, because this probably decided the game, if I'm being honest, because Focus Blast would have dealt so much damage to the Ferrothorn, if not knocked it out. And if I did knock out the Ferrothorn, then Zoroark could probably sweep his team, I would say, because Tabu Fini was too low. Snorlax does not appreciate a Focus Blast. Plus, also Yuta hard rolls it, and it can't really. I don't think it's Curse Lax with Ice Punch as his sole move. Well, Ice Punch and Seed Bomb as his moves. And then Flygon can kind of come in, but it's going to be taking a whole lot of damage from Dark Pulse. Also, it gives me another free switch out into Yuta. So, unfortunately, I do miss my Focus Blast, and I think that does mean that I'm going to have to it forced me to play a lot more aggressive now, as if I wasn't playing aggressive enough before, because now I have to send Celebi, and I have to hope that he fears the Hidden Power Fire, so I can go for my Energy Ball. So he goes out to this, and no, instead he decides to stand with Ferrothorn. It's not like a Hidden Power Fire on the Celebi that I showed a few turns ago. So he goes to the Gyro Ball, gets the crit, and knocks out my Celebi, which is absolutely fantastic. We could not ask for 2 better turns. And then I decided to send out Yuta, knowing I can take some hits. I just really want to, kind of lower the differential if I can get the differential down 1 or 2. Because I know I'm not going to win this battle, of course. But if I can lower the differential down maybe 1 or 2 points, then that would help me out in the long run a lot. Because then that means that I will be quite a low ranked team. Because I was joint 3rd or 4th with Irazvann before this battle. For week 1 I was joined 3rd or 4th, but at least now if I can lower the differential a little bit, then I might be able to make it back a little bit. So I go for the Scald, hoping to burn him. Maybe then that means that I can send out Yuta and maybe just burn and Earthquake him. But no, luck is not on my side, as you can probably tell from this battle from the very start. He does not get burnt, and now I solely have Yuta to rely on. I know Yuta can take a lot of hits, so I'm just going to speed this up, because this is essentially me stalling out with Yuta. It's just him doing a lot of stuff. I do get another switch into Flygon, which is pretty dope, as he just fires off outrages, and of course you can predict what I'm going to do. This is just my last hope to try and maybe claw down the differential by 1 Pokemon or something, because I really need the differential lowered. I really just wanted to maybe, because the difference of that 1 differential could be the difference between me being 4th or 5th, or something like that. So, unfortunately, I just cannot do anything. Yuta cannot hit hard enough. I just have to hope that I whirlwind him out in the sun that cannot take an earthquake like Snorlax, but instead he gets Tapu Fini, and this is going to be GG because Tapu Fini has got a base speed of 85 or something along those lines, so it does knock me out. And yeah, so Tapu Fini wins, and he has won this battle by a differential of 4-0, which to me, I just have to apologise first and foremost to you guys for watching this, because I'm ashamed at my plays, honestly. I was saying this in the Discord chat, and I'll say this again for as many times as I can possibly say. I played absolutely trash this battle, sacking my Primeape, which is probably the best response to my... It was the best response to my Snorlax, and probably one of my only, maybe 1 or 2 responses to the Snorlax. It was also my response to my the Ferrothorn. It also did a lot to fly on with close combat, and the combination of U-turn and Poise and Gunk Shot knocked out an offensive Tapu Fini after Stealth Rocks, so that was kind of unfortunate as well. I want to secondly apologise to MX3 for having to play such a horrible battle versus me. I really apologise for my performance, guys. I prepared very poorly for the Snorlax. I think I just put a lot of effort into the Hydreigon and Thunderstarian, and didn't really consider the Snorlax as a threat, or maybe Tapu Fini as a threat. I definitely could have brought in circuitry. Sorry, I said brung. That's not a word. I definitely could have brought Psyche Z Exurgatory because it did a huge number versus this team. Psyche Z Exurgatory, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power Ice, and Thunderbolt definitely would have destroyed his team, just ran through it. Apart from Magneton, but Magneton does not appreciate Hidden Power Fire, especially since it is an offensive variant. Hopefully I can prove myself in the next few upcoming weeks, especially since I will be replacing Scizor for Excadrill. Hopefully I can bring out some wacky sets and win quite a few points back, because it's sad to see your team have so many win-loss ratios like it's -1 or -2 now, because you win your first battle and most of your team is up in win-loss ratios, or sorry, kill-to-death ratios I should say. Your team would be up by kill-to-death ratios, like even if your Pokemon got like 1 kill before it died, which was most of my Pokemon in the battle versus Hughes, and that means that you got a 0 kill-to-death loss ratio, which is pretty good. And most of my Pokemon got a 1 kill-to-death ratio, and now that's just been completely undone, because most of my Pokemon, I think it was only Celebi and who else got a kill? Celebi and Alomomola got a kill, and nobody else got a kill. So Primeape is already at -1 on the death to kill ratio, and Zoroark's been lowered down as well. Latios has been lowered down again, and Hippowdon's been lowered down, which is very unfortunate. Celebi did get a kill, but it didn't lose, so it's not really gonna matter that much. Thanks guys for watching this video. I hope I can prove myself in my Sun team. In the upcoming weeks, I hope that I can prove myself as a coach and potentially crawl back playoffs. I know there still is 5 more weeks in this tournament, so you know I can't really count my chickens before they hatch. I can't say I'm gonna lose, and you know I still have a very good chance at winning this tournament, because I am 1-1. It's not the best in the world, but it's definitely not the worst. I'm probably going to be around middle of the flock, maybe 5th place, I'd like to say. All the battles haven't been done yet. This is time of recording this. Only 2 battles have been done. Haz's battle and me versus MX3 have been done, but I'm hoping to be maybe 5th or 6th or something along these lines. Just something alright, I guess. But hopefully I can show these guys that I'm pretty good at my battling skill. I'm not the best in the world, but of course I do these things like I do the Armaldos versus other teams on the Pokemon Showdown stage I used to do a few months ago in OU battles. I just wanted to do that just so that I can learn a lot about OU in Generation 6 because it's quite new, and I just wanted to maybe show off some skill that I had while also learning a lot of new playstyles. Also, I am joining a new tournament called GBA, so that is going to be very exciting. Expect the next week to be me going over my team, going over my cores, going over why I pick certain mods. It'll be probably like the Meet the Armaldos in the SDL. I'll probably title it the same except Meet the Armaldos for the DGBA. So I can't wait for that because this team, although it is a pretty good core, it kind of falls flat in its face now that it's like, okay, you've got a Talonflame in sand, okay? Talonflame and sand do not mix, okay? That's why you have to run such good rapid spinners and defoggers with Talonflame and things like that, because they got such a massive stealth lock weakness, they got such a massive chip weakness. But you know, what are you going to do about it? So thanks guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys for week 3. Goodbye.